So why do our children leave and become prodigals? I want to have a moment together with you, and I appreciate you taking the time to listen. The last time that we spoke, we talked about church mice and altar rats, the prodigals in the church. And today, I want to share with you my thoughts and some scriptures that might help you answer your questions as to why our children turn into prodigals after all that we have done for them. And if we have time today, we might talk a little bit about how do we know our children have truly come back to the Lord and what we can expect to see and hear from them. But if we run out of time, we'll talk about this the next time we get together. I think that each prodigal has their own excuses for leaving their faith at the altar of the Lord. But in the end, these are nothing more than excuses for their not having a deep personal relationship with Jesus. And no matter how much we would like to think that we have done all the right things, given them the very best that we could, materially, emotionally, physically, and spiritually, it still comes back to their lack of deep roots into the Word of God. It can be very hard for us to let God be God in their lives. Yet, even though we know and understand that wealth and honor comes from the Lord, and He gives it to those who will seek His face, many times in the midst of their rebellion and struggles and failures, our prodigals will come to their senses and realize that this promise is for them as well. And one day they will want to return back to where they first found forgiveness. They will realize eventually that being a Christian is not easy. Walking in faith can be hard at times, but the Lord promised that He would be with them through the fires, and when they come out of their furnace of affliction, their hair will not be singed, and they will not even smell of smoke. So, why do they leave and become prodigals? It might be the lure of the lights of the city. It might be that they had followed their friends down the wrong road. But there is another possibility that we rarely talk about. And that is that, like children who do not grow up and mature, they see their parents as stupid, or they don't know anything, or as hypocrites and phonies. This can be particularly true in the house of God, where the attacks against the family and fatherhood are raging hot and terrible. As Christians, we do our best, most of us, most of the time, to teach our children well. It is our responsibility to role model and emulate righteousness and truth in front of them, and to eventually turn them over to Jesus Christ after we have demonstrated the faithfulness of the Lord. But sometimes we fail. We try to be their heroes as they are growing up. To them, we appear to be invincible and infallible. We try to be the shining example that will help lead them to the cross, but one day our feet of clay seems bigger than our heart of gold to them. Of course, we understand that Satan will try to exploit our weaknesses and their lack of understanding and maturity against us and them. So we end up with prodigals who leave us and the church because of disappointment and bitterness and unforgiveness. Sometimes it is our fault that they leave, but mostly it is their immaturity and lack of a deep relationship with the Lord that allows the enemy to drive a wedge of separation between them and us. Now, for those in ministry, especially pastors and leaders in the church, we teach and preach the ideal, the perfect, but our families see us in the real and in everyday life. And sometimes the difference is enormous. We preach truth, but then we lie. We talk about integrity, but we get caught in adultery. We preach righteousness, but then go to places and do the things that we know are wrong. And our spouses and our children know our not so hidden sins and weaknesses, even though our churches do not. It is typical for teenagers to think that they know better than their parents. After living on their own for a number of years, most of us hope to hear words like, "Hey, you were right." However, we're not holding our breath waiting for that. It is not fair to try to compare a fallen hero to a risen king, but they do it anyway. And until they grow up and forgive us for our failures, they will remain prodigals who are trapped in their own sins and unforgiveness. The Bible tells us that all have sinned and fallen short of the glory of God. And one day they will come to their senses and realize that no one can compare to who the Lord is to them, because His love is all they really need. However, no one ever said it would be easy growing up and making the transition from child to teenager to adult. But for those who do finally transition, they will realize that they too have feet of clay. One day, as we continue to pray for them and ask the Lord to keep His hand upon them and for His Spirit to guide them in their ways, they will come to their senses and say to the Lord, "No one ever said it would be easy, but here I am, willing to try once again. I give you my life, and this time I will be yours forever." As we end our time together, I would like you to listen carefully to the words of this song. It's titled "Forever Yours." See if it does not speak to your heart and speak about the heart of the returning prodigal. So until next time, may the Lord richly bless you, keep you safe, prosper you as you follow hard after Him. Thank you, and God bless.
Wealth and honor come from you, and is given to those who will seek your face. I will give you my life and all that I am, just to be in your presence forever. Forgiveness flows from your throne, blood was freely given to those who believe and those who will receive, that they can live and be free. No one ever said it would be easy, but here I am, willing to try. Once again, I give you my life, this time forever yours. It's not fair to try to compare a fallen hero to a risen king. No one can compare to who you are to me. Your love is all I need. Wealth and honor come from you, and it's given to those who will seek your face. I will give you my life and all that I am, just to be in your glory forever. No one ever said it would be easy, but here I am, willing to try. Once again, I give you my life, this time forever yours. No one ever said it would be easy, but here I am, willing to try. Once again, I give you my life.